Shalom, this is Brother W from GMS Detroit. I'd like to say all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rikar double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who rule well, and shalom to the whole full elect out there. With that being said, I want to get into a quick lesson, and this lesson is concerning something I ran across in this study Bible that I use sometime. It's a MacArthur Bible, MacArthur Study Bible. And it got some pretty good precepts, and then it got some pretty good illustrations and stuff. I'm sorry, if I can find any illustrations. And they have a lot of good charts in here and whatnot. So I just got them. At my job, we run across a lot of Bibles. Because I'm dealing with people, moving in and out of homes, and so I don't throw them away. I keep them. And this is maybe one of the ones I kept a long time ago. Now we'll have a good map like this, something like that, Jerusalem in Nehemiah's day. So it just give you little, insights on different things and whatnot. But what I found today, when I was reading, not actually a day, but it was a couple of days ago, I was reading about Obadiah, and I came across this part. It's like they give a background and a setting to the before you get to actually to his they give you the author and date. They give you the title. It says title, author, and date. Then it says background and settings. Then it says his historical, theological themes, and interpretive challenges. Yeah. So nevertheless, that they give you all that before you get to the scripture. And a lot of this stuff is probably based on their history, Edomite history, and a lot of they theologians and whatnot. They're Bible scholars and stuff that probably put this whole thing together, And so nevertheless, or they get the information from from one big source, and that's all their people who put this stuff together, coming from the mind of an Edomite that don't think Edom actually still exists or know Edom actually exists, and they just trying to hide it and can't let you know that Edom exactly exists. And so the part of this background and settings I wanted to get into, and I need to hurry up. And it says Herod the Great and Idumean became king of Judah under Rome in 37 BC. It says, in a sense, the enmity between Esau and Jacob were continued in Herod's attempt to murder Yahushua. It says the Idumeans participated in the rebellion of Jerusalem against Rome and were defeated along with the Jews by Titus in 70 AD. Ironically, the Edomites. Get to this part. Ironically, the Edomites applaud the destruction of Jerusalem in 58 586 BC. It says, but dying tried to defeat it in 70 AD. After the time, they were never heard of again. As Obadiah predicted, they would be cut off forever. It says, and no survivor shall remain, the house of Esau. So that's out of their mind. But in this truth, we learned that that's an end time event. We can get to it, So nevertheless, let me just go to it. I don't want to read that translation. But nevertheless, it's just show you how I'm just trying to make a point that they are trying to hide who Esau is, saying that he has been done away with, and I heard that since I've been in the truth, I heard that, but I never knew how and never knew their explanation. But, they say that he went to war with the Romans in 70 AD and was ultimately destroyed. So how the Idumeans, which Edom is Idumea is Edom in Greek. So they try to say the Edomites fought the Edomites and destroyed them. They ain't no more. And the actually saying that the Romans are not Edomites at that time. The Romans were not Edomites at that time or something like that. So it's just a big old thing, not linking everybody in, not the whole Edomite family, not linking the bloodlines like we do in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Hey, hey, we can link Jacob's bloodlines and all of his brothers and descendants. That's why they try to actually don't really talk about the other bloodlines, the other brothers. That is all about Jew. But where the other brothers at? Where the other ones at? Where their lineage at? They don't talk about that. So if they can explain that away, then they don't have to explain about Esau. And his brothers, all his brothers that lived and whatnot. So nevertheless, and it's so much more proof. But I'm just gonna give you some proof with some milk, with just this milk. So nevertheless, so yeah, it started verse 10, Obadiah 1 verse 10. It says, "For thy vengeance against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." Now, is Esau cut off forever? No. You know what I'm saying? Esau still roaming around. We know red, hairy Esau still roaming around. And you know what I'm saying, we'll get to another scripture that really proves it. So he said we'd be cut off forever. No. And that's what this book trying to explain away, that Esau had been cut off forever by the Romans. Nice try, Esau. It says, "In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into the gates and cast his lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them." It says, "But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day that their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of their distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. It says, "For the Lord is near upon all the heathens, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee, and thy reward shall return unto thy own head." It says, "For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been." It says, "But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions." So do the house of Jacob possess their possessions now? No. Not according to the truth, they don't. You know what I'm saying? Not according to this truth, they don't. You got this fake imposter that's running around this bitch that own all the money, the banks, the movies, the music, the diamonds and everything, the gold and everything, the land and everything. But he's an imposter. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to live like this. He's trying to live like this has actually happened. You know what I'm saying? But the scripture says Yahweh Shai will take his people back, not the Rothschilds, not the Balfour Declaration and the Rothschilds and them. The 1948 Club, not them. So they sitting in the seat as Yahweh Shai to make these prophecies come to true? No, they are the imposters. They are the synagogue of Satan. You know, they are the imposters and stuff over there. So nevertheless, it says in verse 18, "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Esau excuse me, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau a stubble, and they shall kindle them and devour them, and there shall be any, there shall, and there, excuse me, and there shall be any remaining of, there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So yeah, it's you know what I'm saying, and we have Edomite ruler right now. You know what I'm saying? So how could this, you know, like I say, this book is just trying to explain, give them some more, some type of hope. You know what I'm saying? But we gave them enough hope in the Bible to make them think that they was included in this. And that's how the Bible, that's why the scriptures are written in that way, to give them a little glance so they can keep this away. I mean, keep this around. Because if we would have wrote it flat out, they would have been got rid of the book. So they wrote it in a way that just show you how Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the greatness of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, how they wrote it in a way where it could survive, just to give them that glance, that hope. But when you break, then when he sent out, when the brothers received the spirit to break it down, and now the truth is out, but it's too late. You know what I'm saying? It's too late now. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing how Yahweh Shem Yahushua set that up. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So yeah, that's amazing. So nevertheless, yeah, man, hey. So we know this is an end time event, and we'll do it with this other scripture too. And this is second address. It says this second address 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followeth. Yeah. So hey, that's plain and cut. You know what I'm saying? That's plain and cut. You know what I'm saying? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followeth. So yeah, we are in the process. We are in the process of a rebirth. You know what I'm saying? We're in the process of a rebirth. You know, of worlds. You know what I'm saying? A new beginning. You know what I'm saying? The planet has been dwelling in wickedness for shit. You know, for a very long time. So why not can it be ruled in